Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech, protected.
Are you sick of looking at Netflix and you don't know what to watch?
So many movies out there, you don't know which ones are good, which ones were bad.
You curious about what's out there?
I'm Joey Powers.
I'm Don Tretler.
This is The Best Pictures.
The ones you don't want to miss.
Hit it.
Say hello to my little friend.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Winners go home and prom queen.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
I don't deserve this. Deserves got nothing to do with it. No sequel for you.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of The Best Pictures. I'm one of your hosts, Joey Powers.
Hey, and I'm Don Tretler. Welcome to the show. We're going to talk about some movies here.
we
We're
are
going to
gonna-
continue talking about the movies you need to see before you
Before
die.
you die, yes. First, I just wanted to mention your team's had a good weekend in football.
Yeah, amazing.
I mean, the Jets beat the Bills.
Right. That's a big one.
Nobody saw that coming. I mean, I honestly, going into this weekend, I think everybody would say that the Bills are probably the best team of football.
I think they beat the Bills the first time around, too.
Did they? This year?
I think so.
Okay, because I was
could
going to
be
say the
wrong.
Bills only have 2 losses, but the Bills went into Kansas City and beat Kansas City, who I thought I think they're like 1A and 1B as far as the best
In the
teams.
AFC?
I think in football, general. I think the NFC, even though Philadelphia is undefeated, Minnesota 7-1, I don't see them holding up against anybody really good in the AFC. I mean, Jacksonville came back and beat the Raiders,
Right.
which I thought was great. Frank Reich got fired today. I mean, we're kind of turning into a variety show. We kind of talk about a little bit about everything.
Yeah. And the Buccaneers won.
And the Bucs, yes, a good comeback. Tom Brady, the first quarterback ever to throw for 100,000 yards in a career. Getting to movies, so Black Adam did repeat for the third weekend at the box office, number 1.
Wow. Yeah, they didn't have any big openers this weekend.
No, it was some anime opened at like 9.5. Black Adam, I think, was like 16.5. One thing I did want to mention, I left work Saturday night. That's like 5:30, quarter to 6. And Ticket to Paradise is definitely playing well in town because there was a line. Like as I was walking by, like there was like probably like 20 or 30 people at the concession stand, and there was a line for people still going in.
Yeah.
So it looked like they got more people than Black Adam got when we went and saw it.
Unfortunately,
yeah.
I went to see it on Saturday night.
Oh, did you? Did you?
And I thought,
Oh, I wish I'd known. I would have actually gone.
I got there at 7 o'clock.
Oh, and it started at 6?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know they switched the movies to
Yeah,
6
they
o'clock.
did. Yeah. So you didn't
So
go
all
see
the
it.
old ladies could go see it.
So
No, I didn't go see it. So I ended up, but I was so psyched up, I ended up going to Keene and watching a movie.
what'd you
I
think?
went to go see Smile.
What'd you think?
I thought it was okay,
Yeah. You're not a big horror movie person,
No.
right? No.
but it was all that was playing. And anywhere around, it was the only movie that I could actually get in my car and get to by 8
I
o'clock.
wish I remembered where Armageddon Time. It was either Claremont, Springfield. It was one of the local ones. I saw that it was opening that weekend. I don't remember which one it was.
Yeah. It's not much playing. It's kind of amazing because you think about going to the movies, and not that long ago, Bellows Falls used to have a 7 o'clock movie and a 9 o'clock
Right.
movie on Saturday nights.
Right. You'd have like the PG-13 movie at the early time. Then you'd have like generally an R movie or another PG-13 movie, depending on what was playing, what was available.
Right. Now it's taking it back to 6 o'clock. You know, I gotta get to bed early.
Yeah. Yeah, it changed before the pandemic. So I talked to one of the guys that works there.
It's been that
And
long.
he's like, people still, like you, still showing up at like 7 o'clock expecting to go see the movie. And like, he's like, nobody goes and sees it because it's half over.
Because for years it was 7:15.
Yeah, always, yeah. It was that way since I was a kid.
So
You
I
know,
didn't.
so,
I didn't
people
get
are
to see it.
people are just used to it, and it's unfortunate because, I'm sure they're losing business. Because
Well, we'll know next weekend if we decide to go see Wakanda.
yeah. I checked my schedule. I'm out at 5 on Friday and Saturday, so either night works for that. So
And then we can review it on the show Monday. So if you guys can hold off on watching it, we'll talk about it on Monday.
I'm just curious to see how they explain the main character dying.
Yeah.
You know, because obviously he's not in it because Chadwick Boseman passed away, and he was Black Panther. So I'm just kind of curious.
And they decided not to replace him. I think
Right.
that's interesting because I would have expected.
And
them
they
to.
show in the trailer that he dies. You know, like they have pictures of him and like memorials and stuff like that. So they're obviously going to explain. So I'm kind of curious to see how that goes. But let's continue with your list.
All right. Well, we were just talking about a movie, No Country for Old Men.
Excellent movie. Excellent movie. I mean, we literally were just talking about it before we came on the air. Javier Bardem's character is one of the best villains, without question, in movie history. I mean, in my opinion, as far as I can think of, maybe like, I don't know, scariest is the word, or maybe creepiest. Yeah. You know, I mean, but he's just so awkward. Like every scene he's in, I feel like someone's gonna die, and for the most part, someone does die. Pretty
And
much.
now, did you know who he was before that movie?
I did. I don't remember seeing him in much. I had heard of him because he had been nominated previously for an Oscar prior years, but I don't think I'd ever actually seen him really in anything that I can think of.
I think sometimes when you see an actor in a role like that for the first time, it kind of sets the tone. Like, that's
Right.
the first time I had ever seen him, and I was like, who the heck is this guy? And he totally creeped me out. Same thing with James Woods in The Onion Field, which was like, I don't know, like 1980. I'd never seen James Woods before, who turned out to be, a pretty big actor for a time.
Oh yeah, yep.
You don't see much of him anymore.
Very versatile.
I think he ticked people off.
Oh really?
I'm pretty sure.
Was he hard to work with like that?
Didn't he? He had a whole big thing with Sean Young. The two of them were dating or whatever.
No, I didn't know about that.
And and I guess she was stalking him, and they went to court. And
Oh God, no, I didn't. I knew nothing about that.
I think he's ticked people off, and I think he's kind of blacklisted. So you haven't seen. I can't remember the last time I've seen James Woods.
I mean, The General's Daughter was what, like 2000, and Any
a
Given
long
Sunday was right around then. I don't know if I've seen him in anything really since then that I can think of.
Nope.
You know, but he was pretty big for a while.
Yeah. First time I saw him, Onion Field, I didn't ever want to see him again. He had that same type of vibe like Javier Bardem in No Country for Old Men. It's a good movie, though, and it won the Academy Award, won the Best Picture.
It did, and Javier Bardem won Best Supporting Actor, and Joel or Ethan? I don't remember which one directed it. Won Best Director, and they both won Best Original Screenplay.
Yeah.
So it was a pretty big movie. I remember when I forget. I want to say it was like MSN had their top 10 movies of the 2000s from like 2000 through 2009. That was number 2, and I think we talked about it, but I don't know if you remember or not. Do you remember what number 1 was? Because I was very surprised because this movie was I don't even think this movie was even nominated for an Oscar. I mean, it gets very high, I believe, on IMDb.
Oh my
I
word.
know you've seen it because I've lent it to you before, and it's by a very famous director, based on a true story.
Goodfellas? No, Goodfellas had to be in the 90s. Based on a true story. What about the one with what's his name? Wolf of Wall Street.
Nope.
No, it's not Wolf of Wall Street.
Zodiac.
Zodiac.
Of
I love
all
that movie.
I know you did. I was surprised because it wasn't. I honestly don't think it was nominated for any Oscars, but I'm pretty sure it gets a 7.7 on IMDb.
Yeah.
Which is, I would say that's pretty.
And I think it's on the
accurate.
long side, too. I think it's over 2 hours.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely pretty long. It's 2 hours 37 minutes. But yeah, 7.7. I'd say that's.
It's not in the library. I guarantee
Yes,
you people.
yes,
I've been complaining about this
for years.
Somebody stole
Yes.
the copy.
Bring
that's in
it
the
back.
library.
It's not yours. It's called the Free Public Library. You don't have to pay for it, so just bring it back.
If you really need to see it, ask. I think you gave me your copy.
I did, yes.
So I have it.
Yeah, it's good. No, it's really good. I don't think it was better than No Country for Old Men.
No.
But it's a good movie. It was really well done. Great acting. I mean,
Good cast.
Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal, Robert Downey Jr., Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
You know, I think Anthony Edwards is in it too. I think he plays a small part in it.
Can't beat that.
Yeah, no, that's a really good cast.
That's a real good one. Next one on this list is 12 Angry Men. which is an old movie.
Obviously, I think I want to say they did a remake, like
I'm sure they have.
an HBO movie.
Right.
I haven't seen that, but I know that is that Jack Lemmon.
We got to look for that. I think it is. We got to look for that at the library. I'm going to putting it in big letters. I want to see if the library has it, and if they don't, I'll get on interlibrary loan, and we can both watch it.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
It's really high on the IMDb list.
Oh yes, I've seen that. I've seen that. It's definitely really high.
How about this one, Children of Men?
Yeah, Clive Owen.
Right.
Yeah. Yep, I've seen that. I like that. I think I said this was one of the movies we talked about last week. I wouldn't put that on the list of movies to see before I die. I didn't think it was that good. I liked it. But
I'm in agreement with you there.
he's almost another one though. Like, what has he been in?
I don't know. He's in stuff.
Because he was like big for a little while. Like he was
Right.
in a lot of like pretty big movies. Like
I think he's dropped down to more like supporting now. But
Right.
he isn't. He is around. You do see him and stuff.
because he didn't end up being in the sequel to Sin City, which I don't know why, because his character was, but Josh Brolin ended up playing Dwight
Oh
in Sin City: A Day to Kill For. Have you seen that?
no, I don't think I did. I think I saw the first Sin City.
You shouldn't.
And I thought Josh Brolin was in that.
No,
Didn't-
Clive
didn't-
Owen.
Didn't he have like a lot of facial makeup? Or am I thinking?
No,
of somebody
that's
else?
Mickey Rourke.
All
Yeah,
right.
because Clive Owen plays Dwight McCarthy in the first one, and then Josh Brolin plays him in the second one, which is kind of like a prequel. It's terrible.
It's yeah.
Yeah, like I really liked the first Sin City. I thought it was a really good movie. Outstanding cast.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody in the early 2000s that was big was pretty much in it. But yeah, the second one
Maybe that's why I avoided it.
it's just bad.
Bad write-ups.
I mean,
and
it
avoided
tanked at the box office too. Like it opened and it didn't make anywhere near what the first one did.
Yeah. Now I know you're not a big fan of like Wes Anderson. You're not as big as I am.
No.
Did you see Grand Budapest Hotel?
Yes, I liked it. I liked it. Did he do the Royal Tenenbaums?
Yeah.
Because I liked that too. I'm not anti Wes Anderson. He's got a certain style.
I like him better than- I know.
No, I think you like him better than most people. But no, I liked Grand Budapest Hotel, and he's one of those directors that always gets good casts. He
Yeah.
always gets a really good ensemble. Like who's in that? Like Bill Murray.
Bill Murray's definitely in it. Yeah.
Are the Wilsons in that? I feel like he always has one of the Wilsons
my word.
in.
Now I got to think of it. Ralph Fiennes is in it.
Yep, he's like one of the main characters. Isn't he might even be the main character, I believe.
Oh shoot! I got to think of who else is in it. Harvey Keitel's in it. Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, like I said, he always gets really
I
good
think
on.
Adrian Brody might be in it too.
I think he might be too.
Adrian
I've
Brody's
only
in it.
seen it once. I saw it when it came out. That came out a little while ago, right?
Yeah.
Like probably 5 or 6 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, because the French Dispatch. I think that was last year.
Right.
That got released. He's got something else in the works. I can't tell you what it is, but.
But no, I definitely like him. I just like I said, he's
Is that
just,
your favorite one? I mean, the ones that you've seen. Is Grand Budapest your favorite, or your Royal
honestly, I
Tenenbaums?
think I like the Royal Tenenbaums better.
Me too. I think I like that best.
And that's
too.
got a really good cast.
Did we talk about this? Because I think I was just reading Gene Hackman. They said he was a pain in the neck
Yes.
to work with on that
To
movie.
Angelica Houston, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
we
really
did just-
liked the movie.
We did really
Cool.
did just talk about it. But yeah, no, I did like Grand.
I don't know if we
Budapest Hotel
talked
a lot.
about this last week. Goodfellas.
I think we did. Yeah, no, we did because we talked about Joe Pesci and. I'm pretty sure we did. I don't know. We've talked about Goodfellas so many times I don't
Right.
even remember.
That's
that's absolutely a movie to watch before you die. I mean, no, we did because I mentioned that that's my favorite gangster movie, even over The Godfather.
Yeah.
Which is not a popular opinion, but I mean they're both excellent. They're both movies you should see before you die, no question. I mean,
Right.
even The Godfather Part 2, I would consider that.
I found a list today. I was checking out this. It was 20 lines, movie lines that we use. They got integrated into like our regular language. And that one was, "You think I'm funny?"
Yeah. I'm here to amuse you. I love,
Right?
Obviously, that's the most famous scene in that movie.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of famous scenes in that movie, but I mean that won him the Oscar. That scene right there pretty much won him the Oscar. You
Right.
know?
There were
That's-
two from Jerry Maguire.
Oh yeah, Show Me the Money, obviously, and You Had Me at Hello. Yeah.
Yep.
Of course.
that's it.
Those are used all the time.
I also so those are the 10 movies. We kind of went through them last week. This week, check this one out. I found 10 movies that were good, really good, but they bombed.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them, it's a result of COVID. people weren't going to theaters, so they released some movies like The Last Duel.
Right. We talked about that briefly. That gets a 7.7. You know, I mean,
I recommend it.
All-star cast. You know, you got Matt Damon, Adam Driver. I mean, what's it called? Jodie Comer or something like that.
Yeah.
And then Ben Affleck, I think, is in a supporting role. Directed by Ridley Scott, written by Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. You know, I mean, everything's there. It's got all the makings of a hit. But yeah, I think we talked about it before.
It's good. They got it at the library. You should see it.
I checked it out and brought it back because I felt like I had it too long without watching it. Yeah. But I read an article that said, you know, that was really for an elder audience. Like that's what they're aiming for. And you know, the article even said a lot of elderly are still not ready to go back to theaters yet. So that really took a hit there. But like I said, 7.7 on IMDb is, to me, like a must-see.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really high. You know, anything like 7.5 and above is definitely something you need to see.
I think so.
So, yeah, I'm definitely going to check it out again.
Next one was Ambulance.
I looked that up, and it didn't get that high on IMDb.
Oh.
I think it got a 6.1 because you mentioned it to me last week, and I looked it up. And have you actually read what it's about? Because it sounds interesting. Like they go, like a heist goes wrong, and so they end up stealing an ambulance, like Jake Gyllenhaal and his partner. And it just sounds like it sounds like a movie I'd be interested in. But that too, I think that was at the height of the pandemic too.
Exactly.
Because he seems to be like a pretty sure thing at the box office for the most part.
Yeah, you would think.
You know, because even though most of the movies he does are R-rated, that I've noticed. Like I mean, I remember when Jarhead came out, that opened #1 at the box office. And normally R-rated movies really don't, because I mean, that was like him, Peter Sarsgaard, and Chris Cooper, and Jamie Foxx, but also Sam Mendes directed it. And he was pretty big at the time, you know, because he had already won an Oscar for American Beauty. The Road to Perdition was pretty big.
Yeah.
You know, so he was a pretty big draw at the time, too. But Prisoners did really well. Nightcrawler, I feel, did very well. You know, all those movies are rated R, so he doesn't shy away from, like, the riskier roles.
Yeah, and I think he's doing more independent type of stuff, because I think he did Velvet Buzzsaw, which I haven't seen. It's on my list to see.
I don't even think I've heard of that.
I think he's got something else
But he
out
did this.
too.
He did this one with the Villeneuve guy that did Dune,
Oh yeah,
called Enemy, which he plays.
an old one. That's an older movie.
Yeah,
right?
where he plays double character. He plays the good guy and the bad guy.
Yeah, I want to see that too.
I haven't seen it.
Oh.
But the Villeneuve guy also directed Prisoners, and
He's pretty, and Dune.
that's in Dune. Yeah, you know, so he's turning into a pretty big director. But you've seen Prisoners, right?
Yeah.
Because I like that. Actually, when I went through the movies and saw it in Bruce for You, I pulled it out and I was like, all right, I'm watching this again. There's something about it. I just like it. It's very violent and very dark, but I really like it. I mean,
Yeah.
until I saw that movie, I never really had much of an opinion on Hugh Jackman. He's actually a very talented actor.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I think it was the year that Daniel Day-Lewis won his last Oscar for Lincoln. They said they felt bad for Hugh Jackman because they said any other year he would have won Best Actor for Les Miserables.
Right. Which is playing in town. It's
And I saw that when I was walking
going.
by. And
I'm clearing my schedule for that one because I didn't get to see it when it came out.
they said any other year he would have won Best Actor. Like, but when you're up against Daniel Day-Lewis playing Lincoln, nobody has a chance.
Right.
You know, because Daniel Day-Lewis playing anybody, you know, it's like, I mean, he won, I think, in a span of from 1989 to 2012, he was in 9 movies, I believe, and he won Best Actor 3 times. That's
Yeah.
impressive.
Right?
Nine movies.
My Left Foot, Lincoln. What's the third one?
There Will Be Blood.
Yeah.
That's insane. 9 movies in, what is that, 23 years? He was in 9 movies and he won 3 Best Acting Oscars. The only actor ever to win 3 Oscars for Best Lead Actor. Jack Nicholson has 2, and then he has a supporting actor Oscar. But he's the only one to have 3 Best Actor Oscars.
And he's retired.
Yeah, he's
I don't know if
done.
you believed that he was going to stay retired, but he has
So far.
for about 5 years now.
So far. What was it? Phantom Thread
Yeah.
was his last one? And I believe he was nominated.
I'm sure he was.
for
yeah.
that. And it's hard to believe that he didn't win just because, you know, I think maybe he didn't win because, like, he's not really going to retire. He's too good at what he does. You know, I mean, he was what, like, I think he was like 58 at the time. actors act into their 80s easily,
Right.
And someone as talented as him, it's like, why would you not? Like, you're so good at it. You obviously put everything into every role you're in, so it's like, why would you stop? It's obviously something you love, but hopefully he changes his mind because he's way too talented to not be in movies anymore,
Yeah, maybe we'll see him come out of retirement. And they'll win another Academy Award.
Honestly, I think it might have to be the right script, but if it's out there, hopefully he does because he's way too talented to not be acting anymore.
Right.
So what else you got?
Let's see, some other bombs. Well, we talked about Ambulance, Licorice Pizza. So Paul Thomas Anderson, who did Phantom Thread.
I feel like that got a pretty decent
It was good.
rating.
I was looking forward to it. I went to the theater. I was probably one of like a handful of people in the theater. I
Isn't
really
Sean
liked
Penn
it.
in that?
Yeah, Sean Penn's got a
Okay.
supporting
Like a
role.
small role, right?
So does Bradley Cooper. Bradley
Okay,
Cooper
yep.
has another good.
I mean, it gets a
supporting role.
7.2. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I think
You
it's
know?
worth seeing.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a movie. I don't know if it's your type of movie. It's more like a romance, but it's real good. It's really good movie. Another one that came up at the same time, Nightmare Alley, another Bradley Cooper movie.
And that was Guillermo del Toro.
Right, real good.
And I feel like that got pretty high as well.
Should.
But again, because of the pandemic, and that's an R-rated movie. So, I mean, that already has that going against it. 7.0. Definitely a viewable movie. And you liked it, right?
Oh yeah.
Good cast. Bradley Cooper. Is Lady Gaga in that too?
No, that's not.
Kate Blanchett?
Kate Mara.
Rooney
No,
Mara.
Rooney Mara.
Yeah.
Rooney Mara.
And is Kate Blanchett too? Yeah, Kate Blanchett, Willem Dafoe, and Toni Collette. So that's got a good cast.
Yeah.
And Guillermo del Toro's a really good director. I feel like that got nominated for some Oscars, didn't it?
It's real good. I don't know what people picked apart about it. I think it could have moved like a little bit faster. I think that was my little thing about it. But I mean, I really liked it. Also, West Side Story.
That surprised me.
I think people just didn't go to the theater.
A classic and directed by Steven Spielberg.
Right.
I mean, that shocked me because I think that made less than $40 million. And, some people would be like, well, that's not too bad. But a Steven Spielberg movie of an Oscar-winning movie, it won, she won, the girl who I've never heard of won supporting actress for it. But West Side Story, when it came out in, was it the early 60s? It won like Best Picture, Best Director, Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actress. It won a bunch of Oscars. Nightmare Alley was nominated for 4 Oscars.
Yeah, I think
Nominated
it
for
was good.
Best Picture, Production Design, Costume Design, and Cinematography. But nominated for Best Picture, so it had to be somewhat decent of a movie, I mean.
Tell me, have you heard of this movie, The Outfit? Have you seen the trailers for it?
Nope.
Oh, what's the guy's name? He's a British actor. I'm not going to be able to think of it. But I was really looking forward to that. I don't even remember it playing, and I was kind of wondering whatever happened to that movie. That's supposed to be a pretty decent movie.
Mark Rylance?
Mark Rylance, yeah, who's always been like on the verge. He's kind of like got nominated for best
I
supporting
think he
actor.
won. Didn't he win an Oscar
that movie?
No, for Bridge of Spies?
He might have, yeah.
I think he did. That guy.
He's not a big name,
That gets a 7.1.
but he's a very well-regarded actor, and that looked like a decent movie. It's like about a guy. He's like a tailor that gets caught up in the mob. It looked like a really
That
good
sounds
one.
intriguing. Yeah, he does have an Oscar. I'm pretty sure he won supporting actor for Bridge of Spies, which was another Spielberg movie. But yeah, 7.1. I mean, that's again watchable. So that's definitely something.
I'm trying to think what else is on this list. The Northman.
I think we've talked about that, but I don't know.
I think it's like a period piece about Vikings.
Who's in it again? Isn't somebody?
I don't know. I want to say it's like one of the what do they call him? Hemsworth.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right.
And then there's this other movie. It was a horror movie that didn't go, called The Night House. I can't think of the actress's name, but I'm kind of like a fan of hers now. I've seen her. I've seen her in something. And
Oh, it's Alexander Skarsgård
Oh,
is and Nicole Kidman. So that's decent. 7.1 again.
and we didn't even know about it. I mean, we're talking about it because the pandemic. It got killed by the pandemic.
All right, so I just want to ask you this real quick. What are your expectations for Wakanda Forever? What are you thinking? Well, what were your-
I've seen that trailer several times, and it just doesn't pull me in. I'm
Me
not
neither.
excited about seeing it.
Yeah, no, I'm not either. What were your expectations for the first one, and what did you actually think of it?
Well, I don't know. Isn't that like one of the Marvels? And I was kind of like, It got great word of mouth, and when I went to see it, I thought it was okay.
I mean, it made over $700 million. I mean, Maverick just passed it for like fifth all time.
I think other people liked it better than I did.
I agree. I'm the same way. I actually bought it, and I think it took me like 2 or 3 months before I watched it. And I watched it, and I was like, not bad. I was like, kind of a waste of money to buy it, because I probably won't watch it again.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was long. I remember that. That's the thing. I know I watched it, and I know it was long, but I don't remember much about it. Like, it just...
Me either.
And
maybe we're going to really like Wakanda, because we'll go in with low expectations. And
exactly.
Maybe
it'll
it's a
surprise
lousy
us.
trailer.
Yeah. Because I think didn't we see 2 different trailers? Or was that... I think we saw 2 different trailers for that and 2 different trailers for Avatar.
Yeah.
And both were the same. Like, neither one of them really appealed to me. And I still haven't seen the first Avatar. I promise I'm going to watch it before we go see it, because...
I'm hoping it's going to play. I thought it was playing
It did for a while.
at Springfield, so I'm kind of hoping they bring it back in the next couple weeks.
Because
if they do, we should go see it. We should go see it in the theater.
We should, because it made like $22 million. It was re-released, I want to say, in early October. And because I looked through all the movies for this year, like just the domestic grosses, because I was bored. And it, I don't know, made like $22.4 million in limited release in like only very small amount of theaters.
It's the type of movie that you really should see on the big screen.
Oh, I could just tell by the trailer for the new one. I was like, yeah, this is definitely a movie you have to see in a theater.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm with you. I have low expectations for Wakanda Forever, so hopefully it's... I mean, at worst, we're going to go and be like, that was a long movie, and we got what we expected, so
Right.
it's a waste of a Friday night or Saturday night or whatever. But hopefully...
Now I'm not going to read any reviews of it ahead of time. I'm going to be...
Yep, just keep completely open-minded and go
Right.
from there. But we're out of time, because it always goes by pretty quick. So this has been our episode of The Best Pictures this week. I'm one of your hosts, Joey Powers.
I'm Don Treadler, and these are the ones you don't want to miss.
Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room.
Here's Johnny. Go ahead. Make my day.
Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.